Hey Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to 25 answers for some of the biggest questions about Nightingale. They did a Q&A in Discord, they collated a whole bunch and put some of the questions together that were similar, and I'm going to deliver you the results. 25 fantastic answers talking about servers, base building, combat, endgame, mounts and more. I tried maybe doing a little bit of shortening with the questions and how they're done, but I've also given a little bit of thought and opinion as well. So let's get on. 25 crucial stuffs you need to know about Nightingale. And do join the Discord, I'll leave the link for it in the comment section down below. In the trailer there shows an air blimp. Is that air blimp going to be part of the gameplay? Are we going to be able to have combat from a ship and so? They've answered that at the moment the airships will be in the game at early access launch, but not as player facing vehicles. Someone's asked if there's going to be a lot of cosmetic items and recipes and whether or not they're going to have functionality. The buildings will provide respite from bound attacks. As for the variety of building styles, right now different styles are mostly cosmetic. Furniture pieces we're currently working on and what functionalities they'll have will be in time for the early access launch. I do like a bit of decoration, but yeah, as long as it's not too much or it's not really giving any kind of buffs or anything. Valheim does it a really good way with the buffs that you get for having basically a nicely decorated building. Can you pick up the build pieces once you place them down? At the moment, no. You can destroy them and get some of the resources back. There's obviously a lot of ruins in Nightingale and stuff. We will be able to edit or build pieces alongside them, incorporate them into our builds. And apparently, yes, you will. They're working on this functionality for early access, so it sounds like at the very least we'll be able to build around them, but also incorporate them into our builds properly. What inspiration was there behind the building system and what other games may be inspired? They've said that they get a lot of inspiration from lots of games. Realmwalkers will be given some basic recipes for crafting and schematics for building when they start and be able to discover new schematics by collecting certain materials, talking to NPCs or completing quests. There are a lot of building questions by the way. Are there going to be a recycling or dismantling system for items crafted in game? Currently you can dismantle build structures like crafting benches and walls etc. You can also destroy and repair crafted tools. So short answer, no. It doesn't look like there's an actual official recycling bench or anything. Are you going to be able to complete Nightingale solo? The intention is that solo players will be able to play the entire game by themselves, but solo completionists will be in for a challenging experience. Are the base defences going to look like? At the moment players can set up barricades or structures to keep the bound out or other creature attacks, then they can attack the bound from a safe distance using ranged weapons. This is something they're constantly evolving and we'll be showing more of in the future. Someone asked how many places there'll be for their incoming beta and they said they haven't actually worked that out yet. They're still looking at the survey to get a better idea of computer specs. So they are really trying to look at the wide range of systems that players have, and that hopefully means they're going to get a good amount of readings for players on lower end systems and of course players on higher ones. They are also considering the option to allow you to invite players because it is obviously a co-op based affair. It's being able to invite your friends to the beta, but it's something they can't make any promises on. Now one thing I'm still struggling to understand is how the realms will work. I swear we read that if you're in a realm and you decide to leave, as long as there's friends in that realm with you that you invited, that realm will carry on. A bit like Fallout 76's system. But in that game you have to pay for that privilege and your friends have to have the membership as well for the world to carry on persisting. But someone's asked how exactly you will be able to choose. So say a group of your friends are in different realms but playing together. How will that work? Or simply when you log in, you'll get an option to go for a party invite and choose which party you'd like to be teleported to. Which does mean it will be nice and easy to play with friends. You're not going to have to go through maybe 3 or 4 different realms to hop or jump to them. I guess my answer is there in the next question. Someone's exactly asked, how is the data hosted in the cloud? How can a previous player start the world when no one else is hosting? Or will the world save be tied to the original host? So they've answered that yes, world save data is hosted in the cloud. The cloud save will be hosted by a specific player. Other players in your party will be able to continue playing if the host disconnects, but they won't be able to spin it up themselves. So this is great news. It does sound like they're not going to go down the route of Fallout 76 and make you pay for more membership, I guess, for this option. Which is one of the many reasons that I've never played Fallout 76 beyond its launch, because they introduced this horrible system rather than just a regular dedicated server. But I've been really curious how this will all work, and that sounds like a good compromise. You've really got to trust your friends though. Like if you do kind of invite some randoms, and then maybe, I guess there's got to be controls on what they can do, maybe not destroying structure pieces and stuff like that. And do you really want your friends playing all night while you have to go off to dinner or whatever and do real life stuff? I guess it is good for players that are actually proper friends and are keen to get stuff done while someone is busy. But this will be a real first. Like I said, only Fallout 76 has this kind of game system in place. In years gone by in local co-op, of course, as soon as the host discontinues, then everyone gets booted from the world. So this is breaking new ground still. Inflection did collate these answers all in one group, and someone asked about dedicated servers. They're still being worked on. Is there any more info about them? And they've simply said that right now they're looking at between 6 to 10 players in a realm. Much like PC specs, it's a little too early for us to share specific details as they're still experimenting. They then go on to answer and say that yep, you will be able to obviously invite and kick players, but once a player is in your world, they'll be able to do exactly what you can. Quite exciting that you'll be able to have multiple characters, and you'll be able to literally jump to different realms and players as much as you want with them different characters as well. You can indeed take one character from one world and then up to other worlds as well. Now we know that crafting is a big deal about how you actually get extra sort of powers and stuff, and it doesn't seem to be as much of a skill system that we've heard about too much yet. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if you can level up properly or do things, basically earn stuff, helping out your friends in different worlds. What happens when you die in Nightingale? Pretty much is bog standard. You die, you're going to lose your full inventory on death and respawn at the respawn point. There are no times to get your inventory back, and there are death markers to show where it is though, so you will be able to go and get your stuff back. Any buffs you have had pre-death will also be removed, such as eating recently, so that then gives a hint that eating and drinking is still going to be a part of it. They did stress that it was kind of survival light, but it's still going to be a mechanic in the game that it's going to be of some importance. They go on to answer in the next question that, as of right now, Going Hungry will give you certain debuffs but will not kill you. As for other systems, we're experimenting with a few options and we'll detail them once we made this decision. So I'm guessing maybe they're looking at water and stuff like that, or temperature. But one of the things they mentioned, or we've seen from some interviews, was this idea of a hope meter, and that NPCs need to basically be good or believe in you. So that hope meter might be a kind of survival mechanic, keeping it high enough so they don't abandon you. End game, and it's pretty clear that the idea of just being to go forward, there'll always be new structures to build, new gear to craft, new realms to explore, and a lot of that is going to come from players making up their worlds themselves by combinations of these cards. And obviously with them adding more stuff, we know they're going to be doing like a season based game where they will call something season 1 and then season 2, etc. So I imagine each season will bring more challenges, more bosses, more different types of realms to explore and kind of options for them. Someone's asked how they choose the kind of mechanics they want in the game. It must be tough designing it all. And bog standard answer, yeah, there's a lot of stuff they've got to look at and what's going to be most valuable and what the community wants and what they think is cool ideas to then prioritise and plan. Someone's asked how the story will be told. Is it just going to be lore, or is there going to be a lot of lore in it? And they've said that it'll be through codex entries, environmental storytelling, and through NPCs. And they're going to share a lot more of this at launch. And narrative teams put a lot of work and thought into building the world of Nightingale, so they're excited to share it through development with players. Someone's asked how the magical elements will work. Are we going to be shooting fireballs from my hand, I guess? And they've said that actually humans lack innate magical abilities. Spells need to be cast on weapons or tools, but you've got to be careful because the spell will use up some of the durability, and how that will balance out will be revealed a little bit close to launch. Someone wants to know about mod support, and pretty much they said closer to launch. Now mods to me isn't a big deal with a game that seemingly has unlimited abilities to make a new experience with the customization of the cards. I think mods are great for most games, and I just don't believe it's the priority. It shouldn't be for an early access game anyway. Sure, add it halfway through or towards the end of early access or even at 1.0. But I don't always think that every game needs it. Valheim could have benefited from having mods maybe a bit on the official Steam page, but there is obviously third-party sites that allow it. So if they don't have it officially supported, maybe there can be that way through Nexus and stuff, but I still don't think it's really something that's going to be needed for a game like Nightingale, in the early stages at least anyway. I know a lot of PC players love mods, and maybe it's my background playing console for such a long time, where I always wanted to actually play mods in games like Skyrim and Minecraft. but there is an element of letting a game develop first, especially in early access, before you start adding more features and stuff that might kind of sway where the game's going to go. You know, a dev is kind of needing to keep themselves in tune with the community wants, but not be too dissuaded by all these crazy mods that might appear. That's just my personal take on it. Someone's asked about the performance in terms of how much you can build and how large you can build, and I've simply said that they're looking at that and they're trying to work it out as much as possible so that in performance is maintained even with very complex player built structures. They're also making it so that players can build almost anywhere, bearing in mind the landscape and other natural features permitting. So for players looking for pets and mounts, because they did kind of hint at this in previous interviews and stuff, that there may be other ways to get around the realms. But I've simply said that at the moment pets are being prototyped, but they haven't been moved in production just yet, and mounts have not been looked to in any significant degree. So pets in early access, mounts I'm sure will be something like season 2 or along them lines, maybe a year down the road. So there we go, 25 big answers about obviously Nightingales and where it's going to be at. Hopefully we're going to get even more. They're going to do this on a regular basis, and yeah, pull together some of the more similar questions like they did here. So that was great stuff, really good stuff in fact. Hopefully they carry this on, and we've got a good amount of answers here. It's making me even more excited about Nightingale. I just hope that it can deliver on what it's promising. I'll be there as always first to let you know, and I can't wait to show more of this off in the future. Until next time, Ratbags, laters.